Hello, Bridget McGowan here of BMAC Talks. Welcome to another installment of 5 Minutes with BMAC Talks. In this segment, you are going to know exactly how to avoid information overload. You know what I'm talking about when you have so many topics, so many ideas that you can cover in your presentation, and you just want to give the audience everything. That is what I'm talking about, my friends. As you effortlessly click from one screen to the next in your presentation while you're prepping and practicing, it is smooth as silk. And it makes all the sense in the world to you. In actuality, you may have made this presentation multiple times to various audiences in the past. So your script is right there in the back of your mind at the ready. Whether it is your first time or your 15th time doing this presentation, one thing you must keep in mind is your audience is hearing it for the first time. And in either instance, whether this is your first iteration or your 15th, it becomes very easy for you to want to throw everything at your audience, including a couple of kitchen sinks. Take note that if you design and deliver a presentation and you attempt to show and share everything that you know, it becomes too much for your audience. It turns into an information overload situation. And then let me tell you what can happen if you throw everything at your audience. Too much information can result in audience members getting completely confused. I'm going to steal a phrase from a friend. They can get lost in the sauce. They can become confused, frustrated, or they can even start asking questions of you that you may not necessarily be ready to answer, or they could be questions that require really involved answers that just further confuse everybody. Or your audience members can completely tune out. Who wants that? Or start working on something else, start getting on their devices and right. That falls under the category of difficult audience behavior. You don't want any of that. In both the face-to-face environment and the virtual presentation environment, something like what we're doing here, you must provide manageable chunks of information and be very careful of information overload. And this is how you do it. You commit to solve no more than 3 problems. Ask yourself, what are 3 big problems the audience might have for which it is seeking solutions? Then you identify from your material only those pieces of information that will answer those 3 big questions, that will solve those 3 big problems. It's like reaching into that bag of tricks you have, everything that you know, and then pulling out the best, the biggest, the brightest, the most helpful pieces of information, and only sharing those pieces of information. And then in your opening statement to your audience, I want you to use those problems, those needs, those interests to share with the audience what it will know or be able to do by the conclusion of your session. I encourage you to use this actual wording. By the time we're done, you will know A, B, and C. By the time we're finished, you will be able to do X, Y, and Z. And when you provide this statement, this kind of statement, it accomplishes a number of things. Clarifying your session's takeaways helps you remain focused and on track. And it makes you feel empowered because now you're not all over the place and feeling scattered. And then something else. You know the exact job you are there to perform. You know the 3 pieces you must give your audience. And it gives the audience a clear roadmap for what it can expect to receive in your session. Now you may say, Bridget, my goodness, I have so much to share. Guess what? When you only give 3 pieces of information, the audience doesn't know there's more. The audience doesn't feel like it's getting or feeling left out of or missing anything, and it leaves you with a foot in the door to give more. So in short, it gives the audience a feeling of satisfaction, and then it gives you an opportunity to share more and connect after the session. Isn't that a win-win? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bridget McGowan, BMAC Talks.